Welcome everyone to another week in the Geoguessr Reddit League. My name is Atomo and I'm joined as always by Calamity. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We have a really great matchup for you all today in Division 2. Number 1 against number 2 with Mr. Blue, GG, and Radu respectively. Calamity, a really nice matchup.
Yeah, you can see in the stats here that they've had similar seasons in terms of how, that they've both won a lot. Mr. Blue just that bit more consistent. That's why his average points look so ridiculous. But in terms of aces, actually the same amount with 15 both. 15 in general, a pretty high number at this stage in the season. But yeah, you can see there, average kilometers off, average points, just slight advantage for Mr. Blue. But on a world map, that probably doesn't come into play that much.
Yeah, Radu has 2 losses to Mr. Blue's none, but he has been boosted by a few advantageous things along the way to get him into that second place. But yeah, his best game and his average points definitely are make him worthy of that position in Division 2. Yeah. So they'll be facing off today on a worldwide map called Worldwide, made by Worldwide Explorer, and has an average score of 14,829 points. Been played a little over 1,395 times with 10,000 plus locations. Very diverse in terms of locations, and it's still being worked on every so often. It says it's in progress, so things are changing. But who do you favor here on a world map in particular, Calamity?
It's very difficult to say. If we were playing a national map, I'd say I'd favor Mr. Blue. But because it's a worldwide map, I'd actually say it's very even. We might just see 2 perfect scores, depending on the seed we get. But yeah, it could be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm expecting something around that 25,000 mark, and it would not be a surprise to see one of them hit that at all. Maybe it just comes down to one small little round where you're just a few kilometers too far away, but we'll have to see exactly as we jump right into it here. So looks like just like Division 1, we have an African guest to start us off.
Definitely. The name of the town is actually all over the place here. Radu immediately.
Is it Khalifi or?
Yeah, it's Khalifi. Radu actually knows the town. Interesting. You can see here on the map on Radu's screen that the town name is actually not where the city is actually at. The town name's way too far north, and you have to go all the way south towards the river to actually find the town.
But Mr. Blue seems to also be familiar with it as he zooms in on it as well. Is it in Zimbabwe? Is that what it was?
No, it's Kenya.
Kenya? Okay, I was just...
Yeah.
They were zooming very fast. I couldn't tell exactly what. Kenya makes sense because there is coverage in Kenya.
Yeah. But yeah, Radu's already found where he is, and he's
got
guessing.
And he will get a ace, 5,000 points for him there, and he will not use nearly all of his time. So we'll have to see if Mr. Blue can do that as well.
Has Mr. Blue even moved yet? I'm not sure.
I don't think he has. Radu moved around a little bit, but now he has.
He's moved a bit. Yeah, it's a relatively easy location. General, if you were to move to the south, you'd not immediately, but relatively soon hit the river. So that helps you even more with pinpointing. But even without that, shouldn't take too long. And yeah, Mr. Blue's in the right location as well. The chemist there is a good help for pinpointing.
Yeah, plenty of stores marked on the map, which are always a nice thing. He'll just double check himself. Make sure he's got it. He does have a minute and a half left to go, but he will guess early as well and get that ace. So Radu actually a little bit closer, only 3 meters away to Mr. Blue's 9, but they're both equally worthy of an ace in round number 1.
Yeah, not too much difference between the two of them there. If Mr. Blue had started to move a bit quicker, he might have had the location a bit quicker. But you've got 3.5 minutes. Might as well make use of it.
Yeah, so let's see if round 2 can separate these two. Round 1 couldn't do that. And right away, we are definitely not in Africa.
Yeah.
So,
considering it looks like a relatively major city in the US, I'd hazard a guess that it won't separate the two.
yeah, plenty of signs in the US and whatnot. So that should be easy for them to pinpoint again if they manage to figure out what town they're in.
Hmm.
And Americans do love their flags, so always makes it easy to know what country you're in.
You also saw there on Mr. Blue's screen a bit before that he is on 106th Street, so that again easy for pinpointing.
Yeah, they tend to go in
there we
numerical
go.
order.
Yeah.
Zooming in on the wrong country for a second.
Yeah, but he's on the sign.
Pretty confident it's Chicago.
Yeah, it says Chicago on the sign he's got there.
Oh, okay. 106. They have both moved in the same direction. Mr. Blue a little bit behind, checking all those signs.
The sign Radu found was actually the exact sign that I found when I played the seat.
Radu lives in the U.S., correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure where he lives, though.
He might have been one of those people that said they live in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure.
That's true. That might have been it. So he might have actually been to Chicago a few times, not too far away. Mr. Blue also getting that good sign. Zooming in to find that road. Radu's got it, and he's got another ace. 3 meters again. So consistency for Radu with 2 rounds, 3 meters away, and an ace. Mr. Blue taking a little bit longer, but should also get there in the end. He does have the 106th Street.
All in due time.
All in due time, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the intersection at the start.
Just double check that distance from the intersection, but on a world map, a little bit more generous with that distance. So
yeah, where he's put it now is fine, but you might just want to put it a little bit closer.
It should be good enough with a minute left, and he'll guess early. This map will go very fast with them guessing with a whole minute or so left to go. But another ace, 7 meters away from him. And as you can see, Chicago should definitely have known that location. Yeah, so another pretty easy round to spot. Lots of good signs, Calamity.
Yeah, definitely. Any major city in the US shouldn't be a problem for most of the players. And yeah, as we saw, lots of signs that said Chicago on it.
Yeah, well, we'll get into round number 3 and see what that can do. And another major city, but this time in the Middle East. So
I'm actually not entirely sure what the Middle East encompasses. Because I was going to say, I'm not sure if Tunisia is in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically it's North Africa, not the Middle East, but you can. Oh, and yeah, Radu has seen a city name and immediately knows where to find that. But
you wouldn't.
I mean, Egypt is considered the Middle East for most political commentary or academic stuff, and it is Africa. So,
I mean, true, but it's also like 2,000 kilometers further east or something than Tunisia.
Yeah, but oops.
Yep.
Radu's gonna jump.
Yeah, you'll have to mention there that Radu had problems with Geoguessr on that weekend, as a lot of people did. Kicked him out of the game a couple of times and had to make some cuts in the video there, so you don't actually see his score page there. But yeah, it was, so that there don't come any cheating accusations or anything. You could clearly see that he knew all the important information there. He was already pinpointed in the right location, and yeah, it was just you can see him clicking on guess as well. So everything's in order there. Mr. Blue still... Yeah, he is in the right location, roughly in Sfax.
Yeah, he is in the right city. He's just, again, a little bit slower, but just as accurate.
Mm. Radu would probably prefer if our time limit was even lower.
Yeah. Definitely with these locations, though, lots of good signs, plenty of information to help you pinpoint that exact location. You don't really even need that 3.5, no, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah. In this case,
I
it
forgot to.
depended a bit on which direction you went. South, the massive roundabout, lots of useful signs that said Sfax. I went north. I didn't really see a lot of those. And I came into a suburb of Sfax, or like a district, and found the district entrance sign, and I thought it said basically you're exiting that district, and that made me a bit confused.
I did look it up. Tunisia is technically part of North Africa, not the Middle East. Doesn't go over that far. So yeah, another ace for Mr. Blue. So we're really looking here, getting into round number 4, Calamity, of these two have a shot at a perfect game.
At this point, it's probably less about who wins and more about who gets the perfect score and who might mess up on pinpointing one of the remaining 2 locations.
Yeah, the pressure certainly on to keep up the level of performance. And at least for the starting location, a little bit more of a challenge than the last 2, but we are in America again.
Yeah, this matchup is also like a relatively good showcase of the differences in approach in how you play a round of Geoguessr. With Radu moving a lot, moving relatively quickly, taking in as much information as he can find, and Mr. Blue going at it very methodically and just moving slowly, reading every sign, probably taking in the nature, how it looks like, and sort of more so building an image of the location in his head and where he thinks it should be logically. Whereas Radu, mostly looking for actual information that does that job for him. Yeah, he's seen the sign
somewhere in the south.
Seen the sign for Pensacola and knows the city, which is something I didn't, but yeah, there's enough information there to get it anyway.
Yeah. Well, Radu definitely showing that if he does earn one of those promotion spots that he is in now for Division 1, he certainly probably will be able to hang with those players and his speed and accuracy.
He was in Division 1 last season and got relegated.
Oh, that's right. He did get relegated. So, well, hopefully he can go back up and stay there.
You'll want another go at that.
Yep, and another ace for him. So despite his little bit of trouble, he's still maintaining his perfect score. And see if Mr. Blue can do likewise. Has yet to look at the actual map. Still slowly moving around, gathering all that information. Like, as Calamity said, painting that picture.
He knows that he's in Sentry, probably, depending on how he took that sign that said Sentry Pharmacy. But he's
just
moving.
Jumped right past that sign that Radu saw.
He's moving into town. Now, if he heads north now, he would probably hit the border between Florida and, is it Alabama? I don't quite remember.
It depends on where. It would be Alabama or Georgia, but
yeah, I think it's
if
Alabama.
It's really, really far west, it is Alabama.
It is very far west, yeah.
Okay. He has yet to look at the panhandle.
This Zoom level, I don't think Sentry shows up.
Yeah, he's got 30 seconds. This might be the separation that Radu is looking for here. Mr. Blue not as confident in the location. Maybe Radu having a little bit of advantage and spending some time living in the U.S.
Mm.
But
He's seen the U.S. State Highway sign now. Probably
10
looking for
seconds. He needs
that.
to put a pin down. Oh, it's the wrong state, but it's very close. There's Century
There's
on the map.
Century, yeah.
Oh, with 1 second. Oh, no. So he does find it, but a little bit slower and unfortunately runs out of time. Not close enough. He'll lose 2 points to Radu. Sorry. I knew I was going to do that one of these days.
Mm.
There, 4,998 points for Mr. Blue. Maybe just a little bit too slow that time, Calamity.
Yeah, that his play style in general is. I mean, both play styles are risky in a sense, but his play style is risky if you don't get enough or if you don't know enough that lets you distinguish your actual location from a couple of other locations it could be, because then you're missing the crucial information that the other player has because he's traveled so far and he's seen so many different signs. So yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Blue, it seemed from his map movement, he knew Florida, but not exactly where. He had to move a little bit more to get that U.S. State route number, and then he had to find that and then follow that where it could be, still narrowing it down even further, and just all that took a little bit too much time. Radu getting a little bit more information that helped him knew exactly where to start looking, and then found it pretty quickly from there. So, well, we'll see if that 2-point advantage is enough for Radu to take the win over Mr. Blue here in this final round. And
I mean, the 2 points itself are not going to be enough for a win.
Oh, yeah, I guess if it's only 2 points, it will be a draw officially.
Yeah.
But given the nature of all the information we have in round number 5, it probably will mean that they won't lose too many points either way.
Well, so Tomo, where is it then? You seemed like that, there's a lot of information here. Good. Still a lot more than 2 points in South America. Yeah, there's some better signs of
Tropical.
Yeah, there we go.
Montevideo, Uruguay.
Mm-hmm.
Not too far. Well, I don't know how many different ways they point to the capital.
All of them.
But a couple
all of the
other
ways.
Signs. Yeah. Well, like some countries, no matter where you are, one city is always on every sign, and so it doesn't always help you too much. But
yeah, Uruguay is actually not totally like that. You'll see a lot of signs towards Montevideo, but it's big enough for there to be others as well.
Yeah, Radu getting a road number as well as Mr. Blue right behind him with some distances.
Distance signs always useful, but you still need to be able to judge the distance. Something that I, during that round, was totally not capable of.
Just misjudged where exactly along the road.
Yeah, I just thought Uruguay was much bigger. I saw like that sign is 60. That city is 60 kilometers away, and thought, all right, let's say 60 kilometers might be that, but then the road didn't match, so I went closer. And it turned out I went probably about 10 kilometers away from the city instead of 60.
And again, Radu is just that bit faster on pinpointing.
Radu's going to get his 5K.
He should have a perfect game. Very nice. Is this the first perfect game we've casted? We've had some in the league, but I don't know if we had a video for them we've done.
Did we cast one of the Sweden perfect games?
No,
I'm not sure anymore. So. It might be the first one.
And again, Radu having a little bit of trouble there towards the end of that round, so we'll miss that, but we will see on the final score page he did get a perfect score, 25,000 points. So that means he will not only, well, unfortunately, only get a draw, but he will get a bonus point with that perfect score to gain an extra point on Mr. Blue in first place. But Mr. Blue, only losing 2 points there, is able to keep his first place position in the league despite despite that. So
You
yeah,
can,
a pretty easy seed, Calamity. Lots of locations with signs, road numbers, and whatnot that these players definitely can take advantage of.
yeah, the seed could have been a bit harder had they gone in other directions, but the directions they did go in, they found a lot of useful and pretty easy to digest information. You can see there on Radu's screen, by the way, that's a bug that sometimes occurs when you guess and the game doesn't actually register the guess straight away, and it sort of bugs out and shows you in the leaderboard without a rank, so that no one else would
Ah,
see his score in there. He's basically, I don't know, I don't know. It's a weird bug, but that's why
yeah.
we record our games, people.
Yeah, it always helps to have that video proof that you did, in fact, get that perfect score. So there will be
Mm-hmm.
no second guessing, Radu. We did watch it all together. Yeah. So Division Two, who are these people facing off against next week?
Yeah, they've both got, well, on paper, relatively easy matchups. Mr. Blue going up against Blockchain Prenup and Radu against Benica, although they will be playing in Puerto Rico, which is part of the US, so maybe Blockchain Prenup, an American, bit of an advantage there. But depends on the person, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah, yeah, but as sitting in number 1 and 2, these two will probably be feeling safe next week that they won't lose those positions too much. I think Mr. Blue, despite this draw, still has a few point lead on Radu. Is that
He's
correct?
2 points ahead, I think. Yeah.
Okay, 2 points. So even a draw would see him still hold that lead over Radu. So
Unless Radu gets another perfect score.
that is true. Yeah, there's those extra bonus points are not to be dismissed. So he could definitely do that. But she'll make very interesting. They have one more week, so 2 more weeks after week 10. Sorry, 2 more weeks after this, one more
Yeah.
week after the next week. That was not an easy way to say that. Before we head into the playoffs. So these two will be looking to make sure they don't lose those automatic promotion spots and get back up into Division One. Well, thank you all for watching to the very end. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this matchup between these two good players. Definitely looking worthy of Division One next season. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of this, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.